had like an outer space motif to it. Cut a hole in the middle and snipped it so she could slip it around her neck, kind of like a collar, and so like there's like a 2-inch ring around her neck, and she's going as the center of the universe.
Nice.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Simple. You could take it off in 1 second. You'd be done with it. What are you, center of the universe?
Yeah.
There you go.
Love it.
It's along the lines of like 3-hole punch Jim, like that kind of thing. It's a little more clever than that, but.
Yeah, from The Office.
Yeah.
Pockets, when's the last time you dressed up for Halloween?
What the hell was that?
5 years ago? I couldn't.
5 years?
I was in college.
It was a college. Well, of course, you do crazy things in college, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the ladies are up to, that's what you're going to do,
Yeah,
costume party? I'm game.
Yeah, I have no idea what I wore, but it was probably sometime in college.
All right.
I graduated in 2020, so.
I can't remember the last time I actually dressed up for Halloween. I guess I did once, like right around my college years, I remember. But when I was a kid, had the homemade Captain America outfit. That's nice. The one. That's the one I always remember the most. We weren't poor, but I'm gonna say we weren't rich either. Okay, yeah, we had my uncle. I remember we always had a lot of beer flats around the house, like the cardboard that 24 cans come in, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of those. And he made me a Captain America shield, like he cut it out. He drew the design and then I colored it in. My mom sewed a little mask for me.
Nice.
I'm sure I probably drew a star on my shirt or something. I mean, it was like the most low key thing. The shield gave it away, but it was all probably
good,
cost 50 cents.
Dude,
back in the day.
You remember when did you ever wear like when we were kids, the Halloween costumes that came in a little cardboard box with like the cellophane cut out,
that you looked
and
through.
it was like the plastic mask.
It was the gold standard.
Yes,
as a kid.
And then you would put it on, and it would be like an 1/8 of an inch wide hole to breathe through, and like a dot to see through.
Little slits for the nose, and the mouth was like you could slip a nickel in there, maybe.
Correct, if you were lucky.
Tight squeeze.
And it was like the thinnest rubber band in the history of rubber bands.
Always
to go
snapped.
around you. Oh yeah,
always
those
snapped,
were
and you were tying it, and you'd get them in we'd get them at like the Woolworths, the 5 and dimes. They come in, and it was like a big deal when I was a kid to see them all like. Could I have Iron Man or whatever? Iron Man probably wasn't a popular one back in the day.
Back down then.
Yeah.
Some
I also
Spider-Man.
remember I was Casper the Ghost as a little kid, but this is how we did Casper the Ghost, right? My mom got an old sheet, and once again, my uncle, who had the
very creative,
more artistic sensibilities in the family, traced a bunch of Casper cartoons out of coloring books. So, Casper doesn't walk around with scenes of himself all over himself.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe his ego does. Casper.
Maybe he does, right?
But otherwise, how do they know you're Casper? You're just a ghost.
I don't know. I could have been just a ghost, right? But if I was friendly, that might have given it away.
I got a rock.
Which really would have spoiled the whole outfit for me. The idea that would have happened.
I think the last Halloween costume I wore was Rocky. Is the last one I did because I had the Converse All Stars still, like the classic ones, and so I was like, well, I can do something with those. I don't ever wear them for anything else. I was like, Rocky wore these. So I figured it out. I had the towel around my neck. I blacked my eye with some whatever, makeup in the house, that kind of thing, and I was like, all right, I'm Rocky now.
Yo, Adrian.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, today we have 2 questions of the day. One with treats, one with tricks. Okay, so the happier one of the two asks you, the Chad and Sandy Real Estate dueling questions of the day, what's been the biggest treat of the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars season so far? And your options are alphabetically Brian Thomas Jr., period, NFL-approved stadium deal, so you've got long-term football in Jacksonville, throwback uniforms, which were a big hit, or we still own the Colts. I mean, what else? I couldn't come up with.
Get deep in the bag there, did you?
I ran out. I ran out of treats. But we had plenty of tricks, so much so that we left out a lot of good options. But these are the 4 that we ended up going with. The other question, what has been the biggest trick of the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars season? Is it blown coverages? Is it drop passes? Is it dumb penalties? Is it lack of intensity? Yes, many have answered. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is those things and more.
Yeah, there's a lot more candy left in that bag to choose from, too.
True story. True story. What is the worst Halloween candy?
Candy corn, period.
It's whatever those
candy corn is. You know what? You're right. I left that off my rankings the other day. That may be the worst. What do you think it is, Tone?
It's whatever those orange, whatever.
Orange and black, right, with no label.
Yeah. No, thank you.
They're just like a nougat blob or some kind. Yeah. And you're like, where do these come from? They're just black, like tissue paper that they're wrapped in, kind of, you know? I did my rankings the other day.
I kind of like candy corn, but whatever.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, number 1.
Yeah.
All right. From 2 to 1 billion is pretty much everything else. 1 billion and 1 is Smarties. And then Infinity Plus 2 was those little blobs of whatever in the.
You never smoked them Smarties growing up?
I never smoked them Smarties. I never snorted them Smarties either,
man.
which
See,
I
that's
hear.
the part of being a kid.
No, it's not.
Wait, you crushed Smarties and you rolled them up in something and smoked them?
Yeah, that's what they used to. I didn't do it.
Oh, come on.
Everybody else did.
They
would smash them and then they would just blow smoke, so it looked like you smoking something.
So did they actually? It's a little different up there in Baldwin now.
Did they actually light them on fire? Are you saying?
No.
Oh,
they just it was like a dust bowl.
Oh, so all right now.
You know what I hated? Yeah. I hated getting anything like people would put like little mints, in your giving out mints or like little lifesavers that were mints. It's like, no, mints do not belong anywhere on Halloween.
Like a mint.
Mint.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like
Not like
a wrapped up peppermint.
Yeah. Sometimes they'd throw them in there and you'd be like, mints.
Tony's heard about my former neighbor when I was a kid in Connecticut, Mrs. Baton, and would always, one year she gave unwrapped popcorn balls. Unwrapped. Like she'd have a tray of them. Like, take a popcorn ball, homemade popcorn ball. What am I going to do with this? Eat it right now? I mean, that's it. One year it was candy apples. Mm-hmm. Sometimes
Those
it was
good, though. Ooh.
I'm not big into the candy apples anyway, but again.
Caramel apples, actually, better.
It's the same thing. That's probably what it was. Caramel apple. I just consider it candy apple, but I know what you're saying.
Yes.
There's a difference.
I know that's the most work that has been put into for the kids. I get it. It's thoughtful that you would think I can do this for all the kids, but it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
I want M&Ms.
Right.
I
can't
want
put
Reese's.
it in the bag.
I want chocolate.
Yes.
She also give out pennies. Okay. Like 2 of them. Well, it was the 70s. It was a different time.
It was a different time.
Right? You could get a gumball for a penny back in the day.
Remember, if you got an apple in your bag, your parents freaked out because
we're going to slice that thing into 50 different pieces.
Exactly. The razor blade was in the apple.
Has that ever happened, ever?
Was that
in the history of ever?
It was in one of the movies. Was it Halloween 2 or Halloween?
Well, I'm sure it was in a movie.
Yeah.
But you're right.
That's the only time I ever saw it.
Our parents were always about, don't eat anything without us checking it because there's going to be a razor blade. And I get it. There are evil people out there.
Correct.
Right? But, when you're in the neighborhood, so who gave you the apple? You know what I mean? Because the kid's going to remember where he got the apple.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because
you always know who was giving out crappy candy.
Or the toothbrush. You ever get that one? Little like dentist packs.
I had no Satanists for neighbors.
Oh yeah, we get sometimes dental floss, sometimes like a little mini toothpaste with a toothbrush.
That's the house you egged. You had to. Or you TP'd.
I don't think I ever egged a house in my life.
What?
I don't think I did. I might have done once. I can't remember. I vaguely. Oh no, I was. I just didn't egg houses. I had other issues. I'm sure.
He drew the line at egging a house.
Right. I'm not gonna egg a house. I'm not gonna egg a house.
Slice tires.
All right, so anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. You can vote on those 2 questions of the day. D-Rock, we got a lot to get into.
Do we?
Yes, we do. Cam Robinson is gone. We've all heard and seen, and to one extent or another, enough reporting kind of off the record. Not off the record, but like people tell me things that they don't want their name put on it, but I trust these people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'll leave it to them if they want to put their name on it. But I've heard it from so many people. Cam had a high level of dissatisfaction with not starting, right? And basically, and you heard Jeff the other day, Jeff's like, well, he's out there. He's not taped up. His socks are pushed down, which is not that you can pull your socks up in 2 seconds, okay? But it's more a sign like.
We didn't have his feet taped either.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He wasn't taped. He wasn't taped up at all, right? So
nothing on the hands.
Even if they wanted to put him in the game, they would have had to tape him up. They couldn't just throw him right out there, So clearly,
he looked like the guy who in the 4th preseason game back in the day where there was like, okay, all the starters aren't playing, but they're dressing anyway.
Yeah, and you hang out in a half uniform.
You hang out and you're just like having a good time on the sideline or whatever. That's the vibe.
If that doesn't go down, is Cam Robinson still a Jaguar? Do you think this deal probably gets done anyway?
Yeah, I don't think he would have been here this week. I think the deal was, even if there wasn't anything in the works last week, I think after this weekend, there probably.
Do you think that, like, in your opinion,
my opinion,
or if you know something beyond your opinion, like, why the switch to Walker Little? Was it just based on that one game's performance? Again, Doug Peterson said you can't lose your job due to injury. Cam gets a concussion. Walker Little comes in, plays pretty well. And that's it. It seems, you can lean on the excuse of the concussion protocol, but to clear the concussion protocol, you have to practice. It's not like he wasn't practicing last week.
Right, on a limited basis.
Right, but plenty of guys practice on a limited basis.
Josh Allen.
And go out there and play anyway.
Trevor Lawrence.
Plenty of guys.
Yeah.
Right? Trevor Lawrence didn't practice at all at times down the stretch last year. And, Jordan Love this week, hey, I don't need to practice. I'll play. Hey, no, he said that,
yes.
Against Detroit coming up. So do you think, let's say that deal didn't materialize, right? And Minnesota didn't lose their tackle. You didn't have an obvious trading partner to move on. Do you believe that it was going to be Walker Little rest of the season?
Yes. Only because they don't have a left tackle on the roster for next year. You got to figure out.
What if it's Anton?
That's the assumption that they're going to move Anton over there. But what you're looking at is Cam wasn't going to be here next year. He was not re-signing. They were not going to give him another contract. He was not coming back. Okay? So they got to figure out what they're doing at tackle next year. So they've got this guy on the roster, in Walker Little, who has not really gotten the extended look. I mean, he was the 14 starts at left tackle sporadically. He's filled in when Cam got hurt. He's filled in when Cam was suspended. And he's played pretty good, when he was filling in as a starter for Cam. So you got to figure out, what are we doing with Walker Little? Is he worth bringing back next year?
Everyone tells me he doesn't want anything to do with coming back here.
Yeah, well,
because he's disgruntled with the way that he has been used.
That's not inaccurate. That's what I've heard as well. But from the Jags' perspective, you want to see what you got with him. And maybe he plays lights out the whole rest of the season, and then you decide, okay, we're interested in bringing him back. He's definitely going to be our left tackle. We like him at left. We like Anton at right. We feel good about the bookends. So let's offer him a pretty reasonable contract and see where we can go with that.
What about the idea? Let's say they lose their next 4. They're 2-10. Okay, it's miserable. It's brutal. But even they can't pretend that there's a playoff run left, right? Do you see? And I think there's value there, but do you see them considering maybe playing Anton for a month at left to see what it looks like compared to what he's done at right tackle?
I don't think so. There's no reason to do it until you have to. If Walker's playing okay and Anton's playing okay, I think.
But then it becomes, to me, less about are we going to win the game this week than we've got to figure out what's best for this team moving forward.
Yeah, but then you've given up. And then you've said that's
at 2-10.
Well, yeah, but you can't give up each week, is what I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean you're giving up necessarily. I mean, look, if you put Anton at left tackle,
if you're experimenting, you're telling the players.
Is that giving up?
There's 2-10, so there's 5 games left.
In that scenario, right. Walker Little has been playing left tackle. Anton's been playing right tackle, and they lose the next 4.
Did those guys play okay? Have they played all right? It depends. You know what I mean? If Anton if Walker's struggling and Trevor's getting the crap beat out of him from behind, then maybe I could see that happening. But I don't see them taking that approach, because you can't stand up there if you're Doug Peterson and talk about winning this week and putting a good plan together and going out there and playing our best, but we're going to experiment with our tackles and see what's going on. You know what I mean? It's one thing to put Walker in at left tackle because he's a left tackle, and he's a better left tackle than he is a right tackle.
But Anton you believe is going to be your left tackle. Are you going to find that out next season after you've already committed to that path?
It depends on what you see out of Walker Little. If you see Walker Little playing pretty well, you can go, okay.
You can franchise tag him, but you can't make him re-sign here.
But this is what you're looking for. Do we want to bring him back? If we want to bring him back and we can get a deal done, then that's great. We'll bring him back, and now both of our tackles are solved.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a consideration if they were at that point. 4 or 5 weeks from now, if they're seriously at a point where they're thinking, yeah, we can see now bringing Walker Little back, if that's really where they're going to be at, then they're not going to move Anton around. No. That wouldn't be a consideration. Like them doing that them moving Walker Little to right tackle to put Anton at left is sending the final signal, we're done with Walker.
Right. We're done with Walker. We're done with the season. We got to see what's going on. So
which is okay. If they really are 2-10 or 2-12, at some point, if they want to take a look at that. And I think the locker room would get it too. I think the locker room would know.
They would get it, but that's also the message that nothing we do the rest of the season matters. It's over.
You're still being evaluated.
True, but your head coach can't stand up there in front of you on Monday morning in the team meeting and say, we got to do everything we can to win. It's important. We got to win this game. Let's put a good plan together when the players are going, well, you're moving this guy over here. And if it's experiment time, what are we doing?
But that's life in the NFL, right? Isn't it to some degree?
Yes and no. Well, you don't see that happening often.
Carolina Panthers, who gives them a better chance to win? Andy Dalton or Bryce Young? Well, they're going back to Bryce. Right. But he's healthy now.
Okay. That is a mess.
I understand that, that's just the first example that pops to mind.
As bad as it's been here, I don't think it's ever been as much of a mess as it is there.
All right, Urban Miller. Let's take a timeout. We're getting a little behind here. If you want to get in today, talk any aspect of Jaguar football, we certainly welcome those calls, questions, comments, what have you. Again, dueling questions of the day. What's the biggest treat of the Jaguar season? What's the biggest trick so far? And they're both in poll form, and you can hit those up at MD_1010XL. Don't forget at 1010XL Fat Tony, at ESPN Duraco, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
And hit us up on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Same number for both at 641-1010. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL, Jags head coach Doug Peterson tells you what you need to know about Sunday's game.
They believe in themselves. They believe in his team.
Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
Florida State has lost yet another extremely talented commitment from its 2025 class, this time in the form of 4-star wide receiver C.J. Wiley. Wiley was the first wide receiver commitment of the 2025 class and the most athletic of the pass catchers on FSU's board. The 6'4 wideout from Georgia had been committed to the Noles since July. I'm R.J. Saunders with your Ag Pro. Seminole Report.
The kickoff to savings event is here at AgPro. Through October 31st, we're offering 0 down and 0% for 84 months on John Deere compact tractors. Get a 1025R tractor with loader for just $279 per month, or a 3025E tractor with loader for only $349 per month. Visit your local AgPro store today. Offer ends October 31st. Limited time offer. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Yo, it's your boy E.T. here, and come watch the Jags-Eagles game with me. That's right, I'll be at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra on Sunday. $9 pitchers, best wings in town, and the NFL package with all the games on. They've got 54 TVs in that thing, so you won't miss anything. I'll be giving out some swag, too, from 1010XL and Mr. Chubby's. It's going to be a party, so make sure you come say hi. Again, $9 pitchers this Sunday at 4. Eagles-Jags at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Start your week with a Hall of Fame breakfast.
Wow, I'm hungry. How about you?
Join Dan Hicken, Jeff Prosser, and Jags Hall of Famer Tony Bazzelli for tons of football talk. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Monday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL.
Do you feel a ghastly presence in your septic tank this Halloween? A septic emergency is spookier than a haunted house. But fear not. Duck Rooter is here to rescue you from the depths of septic despair.
I'm Vlad, the Valiant Septic Tech, ready to cast out the demons from your septic system. If your toilet's acting possessed or your pipes are stirring up a witch's brew, we got the magic wand to fix it all.
Call Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic tank pumping today.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Are the company's Zoom calls getting boring? Might be a good time to order some new logo caps or temporary tattoos. Check them out online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. If your car needs an oil change, now's the perfect time to visit Big Chief Tire. They're offering $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 locations across Jacksonville. Their expert technicians will get you in and out quickly so your car stays in top shape. Visit BigChiefService.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling. That's BigChiefService.com or 904-932-0950.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. If I know anything about the fall, it's hunting season, it's cooler weather. People need to get off-road. What have you got to offer them?
We've got the full line of Honda ATVs, the Foreman, the Rancher. We've got the side-by-sides, the Pioneers, the Talons, everything you need to get off-road.
And you can trick them out with all sorts of extras?
If you name it, you want the loud stereo, you want the cool light bar, we got it.
All right, look online, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or head to the showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Blue for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Huh. According to this person, I'll take them at their word on this Halloween morning, the day of truth. I don't know. I made that up.
The day of truth.
The day of truth. On the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Fun fact, the reason Captain America throws his shield is that the original design was so intricately striped and difficult to draw that the artist got tired of drawing it over and over again in different panels. Throwing the shield allowed them to have multiple panels per comic where you only had to draw a vague Frisbee shape. So, wouldn't doubt it.
I would learn something new on this show every day.
Things. Hold on, is it that difficult? It's
I can't draw a stick figure, so I wouldn't know.
Like if you're drawing circles like that, like a literal round object, wouldn't you like use a circular thing and just trace around it?
I don't know. That's back in the 50s or 40s or whatever. When did Captain America come out?
Well, that's when he came out. All right, I guess. All right, that may have been the original.
Yeah, like now it's all you can computerize that.
I don't think they do with comic books. I think those are still hand drawn.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talented artists.
Yeah, I was just going to say, which is some of the best drawings around, man. That stuff is.
It really, sometimes it's like, wow, these guys are so talented and ladies, what have you. But like you see on Twitter every once in a while, there people just post their art.
Someone will be like, they'll do a picture of Patrick Mahomes by writing Patrick Mahomes 40,000 times.
Right.
And then you're like.
And the different little gradients of color.
Like,
and
how in the hell did you do that?
Know. How did you even come up with that idea? Right, to do. What made you think that was going to be a good idea? But way more talented than myself. I will just sit here and run my mouth 5 days a week.
Which takes no
6.
talent, as I've found out.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Which is why I'm here.
D-Rock, so Roy Robertson Harris, gone. And that I don't anticipate any more guys. Oh, then there goes Cam Robinson, gone. And I get it, and you said you think it was probably going to be done anyway, but I think the impetus to get it done quickly this week got ramped up, with his reaction to not starting. So anybody else that you think, if somebody came calling, I mean, there's always somebody way overpays, you're going to trade a player. But a realistic play, I mean, some have mentioned that Christian Kirk would have been a guy. Do you think they would have? I mean, do you think Christian Kirk means too much to that locker room that they would not have considered, what that would have done to the kind of the makeup of the team?
No, I think they would have if they got the good enough offer. I think anybody is tradable, I think.
What about ETN?
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on the offer. I mean, you're always going to listen. Me personally, I thought if the Jags, like with Kirk, if the Jags initiated the trade and said, hey, what do you give us for Kirk? And that gets out.
Would have been a bad move.
I think you lose the locker room by trading him that way. Now, they wouldn't be happy if Kirk got traded anyway. But if the thing is, well, we got X, and everyone's like, oh, okay, well, that's actually a pretty good offer there. I can see why they did it. Same kind of thing with ETN and maybe even Evan Ingram. Like, if the offer was right, I don't see how they probably wouldn't do it.
Well,
but then you're handcuffing yourself for next year. I mean, me personally, I'm not trading good players if I think that I still am going to be able to win games and to have the ability to win games, whether it's this year or next year.
Right. And ETN may be pushing it. I just say that because some people speculate on his name, right?
Absolutely.
And Kirk is a little different. Like, Kirk's going to be making more. Like, ETN's going to be on a 5th-year option.
Yeah, it's $6 million, very reasonable.
Right. It is. And that's a 1-year deal. But, there are other guys, like if somebody wanted to give you something for Brandon Sheriff, I think they'd. Right. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't take much for certain players who are not part of your long-term future.
Correct. And you got to be realistic here, too. Like, those kind of like a Brandon Sheriff or Cam Robinson, 5th round is as good as you're going to get. You know what I mean? For those guys, to think that someone's going to call you and give you a 2nd-round pick for Christian Kirk is outrageous kind of thing. You have to understand that trades at this point in the season are usually made by teams that are either fire sailing or teams that need a little bit of help, to kind of get over the hump, but they're not going to be parting with high draft picks. You know what I mean? That's just not the way it works.
Well, and in the case of like Cam, he's a 9-game rental.
Right.
Because Christian Darrisaw will be back next year, presumably, and Cam won't re-sign in Minnesota.
A 5th-round pick if he plays.
If he plays as much, if he stays healthy, it'll probably be a 4th. Which is what it seems like.
Look, and if you think you got a chance to make a run and win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl for a 4th-round pick 2 years from now,
sure, they're looking at it that way,
absolutely,
and we're looking at it like you better hope that you keep Cam happy because he's. You know what I mean? Like, and he'll probably will because he's going to go in there and he's going to be expected to be looked at as he's saving the position and he's going to start right out of the gates and all that stuff.
Got to figure that he'll be like energized, excited. He goes from a team that is losing to a team that's got a chance to win that
2-6 to
division.
5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much will they miss Christian Kirk's presence around the team? A lot of people pointed to not only his absence on the field because you didn't feel like you had an adequate replacement for him last year, but in the locker room, in practice, being a professional, how much will that?
Oh yeah, that's a big loss too. I mean, he's one of the 2 or 3 main locker room leaders in there. A consummate pro, works his rear end off. The guy that the young players look up to, especially the receivers, and can go to with any kind of issues or questions or whatever. So that's a significant loss, in addition to his loss on the field.
All right, let's get a couple quick calls in. Mac on the north side going to lead things off. Happy Halloween, Mac. What's on your mind?
Yeah, happy Halloween to you guys. Hey, my treats are the new stadium and BTJ, and I got one for the trick. Is the Jaguars 2024 expectations for this season? That's the trick.
Hey, you're not wrong, and you can blame me if you want. You blame anybody, like anybody who thought they were going to be competitive above 500. And look, they could be, but they're not. Right? I mean, so we can sit here and go, well, they could if they only made these amount of plays. Well, if we get to make that extra amount of plays, all your opponents in those games then get to change a play or two, right? Yeah. And so, you can play that game forever. You got to make the plays to win football games.
It is funny. Like, you watch people around the league reacting to the Jags and where they're at this point at 2-6. And, I'll watch their videos talking about the team. I think they're talking about them because they're playing Philly this week, so they think the opponents we're talking about for the week. But they're looking at the Jags. They're going, I don't get it. This team isn't terrible. Right? Like, I'm listening to people that are just seeing them for the first time. They're going, they're not terrible. What's happening? In Jacksonville, it's like, well, strap in, buddy. They are a team that, as we've talked about all season long, they get in their own way constantly. They get in their own head constantly. And there are different moments where that kind of thing has come up. They had a chance to win again on Sunday. Trevor turns it over twice. That kills what was their best opportunity potentially to win. They knock the quarterback out of the game. That doesn't matter. They go down and tie the game despite all those things we just talked about. They come back from 10 points down and go down and tie it. And then they let Malik Willis just let a guy run wide open down the sideline inexplicably. But it's like, that's 2024 in a nutshell for this football team is those kind of moments. And they're full of them all over the place. I don't think they're that bad either, but they are, right? Like, the reality of week to week is this is what they do. They do it to themselves a lot more than opponents do it to them, but they do.
I would have called that, had they won that game, I would have called that Trevor's I'm a franchise quarterback,
100%
arrival. I lose my top 3 guys. I throw up on my shoes twice, including once right by the end zone, and I got Brenton Strange and Tim Jones and Parker Washington to go along with Evan Ingram, and 10 points in the fourth quarter, maybe even 13 points in the fourth quarter to win that game. That would have been his I've arrived,
And the Ingram play was legit the best play of the season.
That was one of Trevor's best throws and one of Ingram's best catches.
Unbelievable
since he's been
catch.
Here.
All right, we got to take a quick time out here. If you're on the line, stay there. We'll get to you coming out at 641-1010. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know what? If you are like I used to be and you're going to eat a big bag of candy tonight, you might need Awaken 180, right? Look, you may already feel like you need them to lose that last 20 pounds that's been nagging you around your midsection you can't get rid of. Maybe it's 50. Maybe it's over 100. Trust us, we here at 1010XL fit all those categories. Hackers lost in the triple digits. Matt Hayes lost a bunch of weight. I've lost a lot of weight, and the key is we've all been able to keep it off with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's free coaching and support for life once you hit your goal weight, and you're going to eat to lose weight. No, you're not going to eat a big bag of candy every night, but there are some cheat days that you can work into the maintenance period, and I've been able to do that. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything except those added pounds. If you want to be the next Awaken 180 success story, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy their famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hey, Hickett here with a message from Zero Res. Can you believe they've been cleaning carpets in Jacksonville now for 20 years? Dave Benyon, his family and staff are so grateful of things and appreciate you, their great customers. In fact, October's birthday month for Zero Res. So what are we doing for customers? Just say happy birthday, Zero Res, and we'll give you $50 off. That's $50 off carpet, tile, and grout, upholstery, or area rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
A different path means a new hope for Miami football this season.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Keep an eye on the Canes as they strike back on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off with an epic in-state showdown. The Florida Gators and South Florida Bulls go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Sports Foundation Invitational. Be there Monday, November 4th at Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus South Florida to start the college basketball season on November 4th in Jacksonville. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Hello there. Brendan from Play It Again Sports here to congratulate all the parents for surviving another summer. The kiddos are back to school, and you know what that means? Sports are back. But don't fret. Play It Again Sports has the gear you need at prices worthy of excessive celebration. From sluggers and shooters to clappers and benders, Play It Again Sports can turn your kids into goats. Stop in today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars have a new starting left tackle going forward with the trade of Cam Robinson. Walker Little spoke in the Jaguars locker room about his new opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's tough losing him. He was a great player, great leader, great guy in the O-line room, and taught me a lot over my 4 years here. But it is the business, and stuff happens, and I'm happy for him and excited for his opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I got a big shoes to fill, and I'm excited for the opportunity, and excited to go up to Philly this week and get a win.
The Jaguars' second-round pick in 2021 out of Stanford now has the chance to start the last 9 games of the season. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
All right, good question on the text line. We're going to get to that. And it was actually, I think it's a good question because it was the next one I was going to ask D-Rock anyway. Oh. But let's go back to the phones here before we get to the text line at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines. Austin in Arlington is next up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Austin.
How are you? Good morning. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, buddy.
I had a question. So if you were Shad Khan right now at this second, how would you be approaching the team? Would you just tank for Travis Hunter and just fire sale and get as many picks as you can and rebuild? What would you do? How would you approach it?
D-Rock, go ahead. I mean, I have thoughts on this.
I don't
but
fire sale because fire sale is you're blowing it up. And there's no need to blow it up when you have the key pieces on this team that you have. You can still be a competitive team next year. You could be a team that could win this division next year. You've got the quarterback. You've got 2 good running backs. You've got one of the better tight ends in the NFL, pass-catching tight ends. You've got, I'm going to say, one of the best young receivers that's come into the league in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
I think a decent offensive line, the way they've played this year.
Now, the other side of the ball, that's other issues. You got some massive problems you got to fix over there. But, if I'm fire sailing, that means I'm blowing it all up.
You're selling away everything with a value.
Correct. Like you're dumping Christian Kirk.
You're not restarting at quarterback.
Ingram, right. You're dumping Ingram. You're dumping, whether you're dumping Kirk or you're dumping ETN or whatever. I'm not doing that if I'm Shad because I look and I can see that we have pieces in place, so why would I blow it completely all up?
Right, but I think there's a difference between blowing it up. Like, had Christian Kirk not gotten hurt and they traded him, you can look at it and say, his cap number compared to what Parker Washington we think can give us at the position, it may just be an economical, smart move that, it's not like Christian Kirk's numbers were blowing us away this year.
He was averaging a career best 14 yards a catch.
Per catch, right? Right. But the total catches and yards were not that significant. Had a lot more drops this year than I can remember at any point in the past. So, good. Yeah, he has. It seems like he hits him on a 25 or 30-yard pass every game, and that helps out the average yards per catch.
But he also didn't have Brian Thomas Jr. taking targets away from him in the years past, too. So that's part of it. But
sure. But if you look at it that way, you say, well, okay, he's now a little less important in the hierarchy, and we can replace him with a guy on a rookie deal. Teams do those kind of moves all the time. It's keeping it fresh. That's not necessarily a fire sale, right? Especially when you're 2-6, you trim the excess, right? And you try to get cheap capital. Here's the thing. I don't know what Shad Khan can do. I think he could do some things that would appease the fan base, but I don't think he necessarily can do anything that's going to really have a lasting impact on the football team in terms of you're not going to hire a new GM in the middle of the season because you're going to limit your pool of candidates. All the guys who are working for other teams are not going to be eligible to be interviewed during the season. So you can only hire somebody who's currently unemployed to come in and take that job or elevate somebody from within. So while it would make people, yay, we got rid of Trent Baalke, right? Like they would. The fan base would love that. It would not necessarily have any tangible effect on the rest of this year at all.
No.
Or even
it is what it is.
Right. And look, I get sometimes you fire the coach, you light a fire on the team. Ask the Jets how that worked, right? They haven't won since, right? They fired Robert Saleh, and they're over since then. There's no guarantee that is going to change anything dramatically. I'm not saying that you never fire a guy in season, but I feel like you almost do it towards the end of the year with a coach to make it clear this job's open. We'll give somebody on the staff a chance to impress us for a couple of games, but it's more like we're going to get ahead of this so we can hit the ground running once the offseason gets here.
Right. I would expect, if that's what Schott is thinking, I would expect if he's going to make that move in season, it would be the bye week, which is the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay, something like that, right? Give an interim coach, but
they
even
come back
that,
from they come back from Detroit? Yeah, they come back from Detroit, and then if he was going to make the move, he'd make it then.
So who's the head coach then? Mike McCoy?
You could do that. You could also. It depends. Is he firing Press Taylor with him? If not, then you could make Mike McCoy the interim head coach, and Press continues to call plays. If you fire Press with him, which I don't see any reason why you would, because play calling has not been an issue this year, and I will argue that.
I heard the guys talk about. I saw the stat yesterday. Jags averaging the most yards per play in the history of the team. What that speaks to is terrible situational football. Correct. They're getting big chunks of yardage, and they're breaking down in the red zone. They're not converting the third and shorts and extending those drives.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
It is. If you were going to fire Press Taylor with Doug, then that would mean Mike McCoy's probably calling plays, and you would probably elevate Heath Farwell, the special teams coordinator, and have him be, because really all you need, once you fire the head coach, all you need is the guy that does the media during the week and the guy who can stand up in front of the rest of the players and keep the team together. And Heath Farwell, one of the more liked guys in that locker room on the coaching staff.
He probably deserves it more than anybody because his unit is kicking
not
some
disappointed.
tail.
Yes,
right. His unit is performing at a super high level. Right,
without question.
It's just that those special teams outside of John Harbaugh, special teams coordinators rarely get an opportunity.
Well, Joe Judge did too, right?
Rare. I said rarely. I didn't say never,
and
but that
didn't work
go
out with
well.
Joe Judge.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's that doesn't mean the next guy isn't capable of doing it. And by the way, I'm not trying to stump for Heath Farwell to take over the job here in Jacksonville. Anyway, I don't think there's a whole lot an owner can do.
No.
Mid-season, other than firing people.
Yeah. And look, if I was the owner, with the way the last year of Jaguars football has gone from midway through last season to this point this year, what I would be demanding, I want to see everything you can do to win every week be done. Right? That's the demand week to week. I'm not saying they're not doing that now and they're just finding ways to lose games that they could have won. They are. That's obvious. That's why they're 10-6 and not 6-2, right? This team isn't that far away from flipping the record they currently have right now. And if I was the owner, I'd be looking at it and say, then flip it and flip it now, right? There's no more time to wait to see what's going to happen with any of this. I've seen that they're capable of maybe giving me that kind of result on the field, not necessarily that I or anyone else expect, but that would be what I'd be demanding. And if I don't get that, then if I'm the owner, we get to the end of the year, heads may roll, right? If we get to the end of the year and it looks like this through the end of the season, but I don't think Schott's at that point right now. I wouldn't expect him to be at that point right now with any of the things that are going on. I would demand, I want to see you guys do everything you can to win, right?
And I think they
beat Philadelphia on Sunday.
Are doing that. And they are stepping all over their shoes with stupid mistakes. They're their own worst enemy, and they're the reason that those mistakes and the self-inflicted wounds are the reason they're in the spot where they are right now.
All right, 641-1010. We go to Ryan in St. Augustine next up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, guys. I appreciate y'all taking my call. Just real quick, my biggest observation on why the offense has sucked so much, not just this year, but underneath Doug Peterson since he's been here, is just there's no urgency in getting the play call in. It feels like every time they get a play call in, they're getting up to the huddle. They're breaking the huddle with dang near 10 seconds left. And then hiking the ball, with 5 seconds left. Seems like Trevor doesn't have time to really assess the defense. But also, I feel like we burn off so much time in between plays that we're leaving a possession or two out there each half that if they were a little bit more urgent in hiking the ball, maybe they get more opportunities to score the points, and maybe they can break 20 points more often. I noticed last week the Packers, they were so urgent. They were getting up to the line. Jordan Love was getting up to the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds left before he had to hike the ball. I mean, think about how much time that gives him to just assess what's going on and maybe redirect, call an audible. I don't know. Just kind of one of my observations from the year. I'll take y'all's comments off the air.
No, I appreciate it, man. Look, they're obviously
at times they've been
right.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. But I don't think that if you get up and get the snap off, you're necessarily going to get more possessions. I get the idea. You're going faster, but that's presuming you're going to have success. Maybe you're just going 3 and out faster as well. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look at the way they started this game this week.
Whether Trevor snapped the ball with 17 seconds left on the play clock or 1, that scramble down there by the goal line, he's still fumbling it. You know what I mean?
Well, look,
it doesn't really matter.
I don't think
sometimes it doesn't matter.
For this, it's not about like necessarily when they snap it. It's like, when are you getting up there with enough time to assess everything?
And for the most part, I think they have been. There have been times when no.
There have been some glaring issues
but like,
with that at times.
I'm just looking it up. Since Peterson's been here, they're 11th in the NFL in yards per game. And if you look at scoring, they're 13th. So they're not terrible. This is from 2021 through now. But they've had massive issues with what caller was talking about at times, for sure.
All right, let's get John on the west side before we hit the break. John, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. I'll make it quick. Way to make him squirm, D-Rock. That was awesome, bro. That was awesome. You put him on the spot when you asked Doug those questions. I really appreciate that. And the trick is for sure the fool's gold we bought at the beginning of the season. But my question is this. With Shaw running his mouth there about how great this team is ever in Jacksonville history, does he get that information from Balky? And more than likely he did. And does that reflect on him, making him look stupid around the rest of the league? And I'll take your comment off the air. Thanks.
I can't judge how owners around the league look at Shad Khan. I don't know. Here's the thing. Shad Khan, till he sells his team, nothing's going to happen. Well, then get ready for nothing to happen because he's not selling the team.
Right.
It's his toy. It's his. If Shad Khan didn't own this team, would you know who Shad Khan was?
No.
Hell no, you wouldn't know who Shad Khan was, right? This is his most public-facing thing. It's not his most successful business to this point, but it's his most public-facing thing. I don't know.
The assumption is yes,
that
he got that information from Balky.
It's pretty self-serving, so it would seem logical.
Here's the funny thing. If the Jags had never broadcasted those comments on the hunt, how different is the conversation?
Maybe the conversation's different, but the reality's still 2-6.
The reality's 2-6.
So,
but it's not as embarrassing. Every time we talk about it, it's like, well, this is the team. That's the best team.
We thought it was dumb when it was said. It's not the most talented team in the history of the franchise.
I think he meant, I would hope he meant since he's been the owner. And even then, I'm not sure that's correct.
I'm not sure it's correct either, but that's not what he said.
I know that's not what he said.
So, we can't try to clean up everybody's comment. I mean, you say what you say, and if you want to clean that up, you're welcome
to go with the word. And here's the other thing. I don't think anybody worth like $14 billion is looked at badly in anything.
I don't know. In a group where they're all billionaires.
Right.
I'm sure there's a hierarchy of, I'm sure there's some of them that, with the perennial winners that look down on some of the other owners. I don't doubt that.
Is he looked at any worse than the way Jerry Jones runs the Cowboys?
Maybe not, but Jerry makes $1 bajillion and has a lot of influence over the league.
Does he look worse than Robert Kraft right now?
But Robert Kraft has a handful, rings for more than one hand.
But perceptions change.
Who cares? Robert Kraft just flash that jewelry at you like, shut up.
Well, yeah, but I'm just answering his question.
I understand. I don't look at Robert Kraft. I look at Robert Kraft like, damn, the guy's got 6 Super Bowls. That's how I look at Robert Kraft. Like, sure, you're not going to be the Super Bowl champ every single year for all time. Right.
But I think to the caller's point, if Shad was told by Trent, and we don't know that that's the case, that they're the best team in Jaguars history, and he went and said it.
To buy that.
Is Shad embarrassed? No. Like, is he looking at that saying, well, now Trent's got to go because everyone's making fun of me, right? Like, I don't think that's the situation. So if that's what you're holding out hope for, is Trent embarrassed them for the last time because he expressed his confidence in this team, no, I don't think that's how that situation's going to play out.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back, go around the league. We get the Breakfast Bowl coming up in about 25 minutes here. D-Rock. Deep pockets, D-Rock.
I'm still waiting on
First
the
pick.
Counting of the scorekeeping there.
I think
the investigation
They just gave the yard
ongoing.
back to Malik Neighbors, as a matter of fact. All right, this
Belly's
is
still full.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. You could win a weekly tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher. Wow. Valued at $100. And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football. It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter at 1010XL.com.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast, and if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASC certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace-of-mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Go! Your school, your colors. There's something special about football under the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights with Hackert and Andrew Gibson. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
If you know about artificial turf, you know it needs to be done right. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned company that will transform your outdoor space into the oasis of your dreams. A putting green, a pet run, a maintenance-free yard. Trust me, the team at Sunshine Turf are the experts you need to transform your lawn. With the highest quality products and budget-friendly pricing, get clean, low-maintenance synthetic grass by visiting sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley.
Hi, Ken.
Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Aaron Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Florida Gators will be without starter Eugene Wilson III on Saturday. The sophomore receiver has been ruled out for the Georgia game with a hip injury. With Wilson out, the Gators will need redshirt junior Marcus Burke and redshirt freshman Aiden Mizell to step up. There are several high school football games going on this evening. First Coast will face Andrew Jackson. Atlantic Coast will take on Rains. Inglewood will take on Wolfson. And St. Augustine will face Mandarin. The annual Florida-Georgia football game won't be played in Jacksonville in 2026 and 2027. Atlanta will be the site in 2026 and Tampa in 2027. Our in-state pro teams on Wednesday. In the NBA, the Orlando Magic lost to the Chicago Bulls. The Miami Heat took the L against my New York Knicks. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11:02, it's 78 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Look out, ladies. Mike DeRocco is hiding in your closet right now. As we speak.
That sounds terrible.
It's Halloween.
I know it's Halloween,
well, all right,
but you don't need to say that.
Grab the coat hanger.
Yeah, don't warn them.
Yes.
All right, here's the question that I forgot to ask you that I said I was going to ask you that I saw on the text line, but I was also going to ask you. And fortunately, D-Rock reminded me when we went to break. Which wide receiver gets elevated from the practice squad this week?
I expect it to be Trammell.
Which is interesting. Let me ask, the way it was asked, would it be Cooks, Cephas, or Velus Jones? So Trammell, you're going off the board.
Trammell, here. Cooks, and Cephas are probably the top three. And I would go, I'm just saying last name on Trammell because I keep calling him Alan Trammell, and it's not Alan Trammell.
Austin.
Yes. But I keep saying Alan, so I just now say Trammell.
Lou Whitaker will be brought up next week.
Yes. So, yeah, I expect Trammell because he's a slot guy, and they need someone to be the slot behind Parker Washington, and then Cooks.
Trammell had a really nice preseason.
He did. Caught everything.
Yeah. So, there you
see
go.
how it goes.
And that person also said, I'm old enough to remember getting the small pack of candy cigarettes. I don't remember the small pack as much.
You always got the carton of candy cigarettes.
I got that right. Roll them up in my sleeve, man. Be cool. That little red tip on the end of it.
Yes.
You know, I loved the good candy cigarette back in the day. Then again, it was made out of sugar.
Yes.
It had my name on it.
May or may not be as bad for you as nicotine. Who knows?
All right, so your guess is Austin Trammell.
Trammell and then maybe Cooks.
The call-up. So possibly two.
Potentially.
But
But
Velus Jones, do they look at him as at some point here he's going to be the punt returner?
Yeah, I know Doug Peterson said the other day, I don't mind, having Parker Washington do it, but I don't really think you want to. So I would expect maybe even Keelan Robinson to get a look at that as well when he comes back off of the IR list. But yeah, Velus Jones, a guy that can return punts and kicks. And I mean, that makes sense.
You see the highlight clip of him going around?
I have not. Is it bad?
It's unfortunate.
Oh, well.
It reminded me of the Troy Williamson one when the Jags signed him from Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's basically poor Velus Jones. I'm sure you could take anybody's 5 worst plays, but it's like a couple of punt returns, boing, right off his chest, couple of passes right in the hands, just one he fell down and dropped, did both, which would have been a long touchdown.
Fit right in here.
Another one where he's running the ball like on a reverse and he fumbled it away, and so there you go. What can you say? All right, let's go around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Carolina has announced that Bryce Young will be starting at quarterback this week. Wide receiver Adam Thielen got in a limited practice on Wednesday as he continues to work back from a hamstring injury that landed him on injured reserve. Detroit quarterback Jared Goff did not practice on Wednesday, but he did say that he will be back at practice tomorrow for the Lions. Goff said he rolled his ankle during their game this week. New Orleans quarterback Derek Carr returned to the practice field for the Saints yesterday and is expected to be able to play this weekend for them. Cleveland has ruled out linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah for this week. Dallas defensive end Micah Parsons missed practice again on Wednesday. Parsons has not played since week 4 due to an ankle injury. Cincinnati wide receiver T. Higgins and offensive tackle Orlando Brown both missed practice on Wednesday, and Baltimore has placed nose tackle Michael Pierce on injured reserve with a calf injury.
All right, thank you, Tony. D-Rock, how do you think if Andrew Wingard is back, Dewey to save the day here? As you saw, I'm sure the graphic going around, I forget who put it out, a couple years ago, Jags were 2-6, made the playoffs. Last year, 6-2, didn't make the playoffs. So they're 2-6, so clearly they're going to make the playoffs.
It was like NFL on CBS.
It's something like that, right? Had that out there. But Dewey Wingard.
I'd start him.
Over
Cisco.
I'd
have Darnell Savage and Andrew Wingard as my starting safeties on Sunday if I were Doug Peterson / Ryan Nielsen. That's what I would do.
Do you have any inkling what they're thinking?
No, he hasn't been activated yet, so.
But that's what I'm saying. Presuming he does get activated.
He was on track to either play a massively significant role at safety or be a starter before he got hurt. So my assumption is if he still is okay, they rotate in a ton of guys because, that's what they do now. So even if he hadn't started, Andrew Wingard was going to be a guy who got a lot of reps at safety. Okay. So my expectation or my feeling is he's going to be the starter because he was on track to be that anyway before he got hurt. And if he looks fine this week and he can still run and he's got no issues with the knee, there he is. He's going to be in the right spot at the right time.
Would you say, though, if he had opened the season as starter, it would have been alongside Cisco?
Most likely, yes. Because then they would have had Savage at the nickel.
Correct. And Antonio Johnson coming off the bench.
So now I think Savage is definitely your starter at safety going forward. Jarian Jones at the nickel. And, like I said, we'll see where Wingard goes in there. But that's what I would do if I were the Jags.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
We will.
If that's what they're going to end up doing. I Ventrell Miller and Devin Lloyd played about the same amount of snaps this week.
I don't know that I would do that either.
Ventrell
Yes.
should be the guy?
Yes.
I'm actually surprised. I guess they just played a lot of 3 linebackers because when you add up the percentages, when you include Foye in it, Foye played like 90-ish% of the snap, maybe 93. Still don't know why.
It's too low.
Yeah, right.
It's too low.
I don't get
I'm
it.
sorry. It's too low.
I don't get it with your premium players at certain positions.
Every
team's got a handful of guys that play 100 snaps.
Okay, you have 2 pass
100%.
rushers. That's it. You have 2 pass rushers. I don't care what you talk about the guys behind them. You have 2 guys who can rush the passer on this team. They got to get a rest, 100%. There should not be a scenario where they're both off the field at the same time.
Somebody pointed out the other day, I saw Pittsburgh on Monday night have T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith off at the same time. Maybe they did. I'm going to take your word for it, right? Because I'm not, watching it with that degree of granularity to notice. But they're 6-2, and maybe they have better complementary players, and maybe they're doing it at a point in the game where it's not like I don't know if it's like 3rd and 9 in the fourth quarter, and T.J. Watt is getting rotated out.
I said if my coordinator has those T.J. Watt and Highsmith off the field in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 7 in a tight ball game, I send my defensive coordinator to the locker room right away.
You see the guy
you're gone, get out.
The guy who gave up the strip sack to Watt. I don't even know, Luminor, whatever his name is, the tackle, right? And he said T.J. Watt didn't do anything all game. And he had like 7 tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble. Like, what are you talking? He's like, he made one play. One play. I was handling.
Y'all had to change the way you played offense because Pittsburgh finally had a 2-score lead. And what do you know? Watt showed up. You couldn't just screen every other play. And all of a sudden he has an opportunity to rush the passer, and you're bragging that he didn't rush the passer until they were in a situation to rush the passer? Okay. Yeah.
D-Rock doesn't care. He just wanted one more catch from Malik Neighbors.
Get your feet down, for God's sake.
Oh, my gosh, man. That was one. I felt like he
got
could have
half
toe
of that
tapped
one
that.
in. Yeah, it was close.
I felt like he could have done that. He didn't put the toe drag swag on it, on the
Ryan Thomas Jr. would have got both feet down. I know that.
Oh, no question about it. What's that, Pockets?
Don't drop a slant.
Don't drop
a slant in the fourth quarter.
One of them.
Although the slant, if he doesn't score on the slant, maybe the Giants like that one. I'm not as sure
about.
about.
The league here. We don't need.
We
to
already did. No, we already did. D-Rock came up a 10th of a point short in the Breakfast Bowl
Never
this week.
seen that in however many years we've been doing that.
Look, I've seen. I think ET lost a game in Jaguars Today, one of the leagues this week by .05.
That's a shame.
Okay, so Mr. Snark over here, right? It does happen.
It does,
right? I've seen it go out to the 3rd decimal place. Not every league will use the 3rd decimal place. Rare is the league, but I'm in some crazy dynasty leagues that go out to the 3rd decimal place, and I've seen it go down to that. I've definitely seen guys. Now these are 10ths of a point, but the worst is you've got a 0.1 lead. And your quarterback is winning on Monday Night Football.
Taking knees.
Takes 3 straight knees, and you lose 0.3 of a point.
Happens.
And you see it coming a mile away, and there is nothing you can do about it.
It's fun. Like, I'm blaming Malik Neighbors instead of being like, well, that's what you get for taking Jordan Love against the Jags.
That is what you get for taking Jordan Love.
I've told these guys.
Traitor.
I take Jordan Love. He gets hurt. I feel like that was a gift to the Jaguars fans. It's like, you're welcome. I took that L for you guys so you guys would have a chance to watch your team beat the Packers and get a win at home, and you got Malik Willis.
Well, maybe you should have taken Malik Willis. He's the point of this whole thing. Breakfast Bowl is next. The point of the show coming up. We'll see who's buying breakfast for next week.
Jags fans. It wasn't my fault.
D-Rock buying for the 4th time in 8 weeks already. Ooh, man.
That's not good.
It is brutal. We'll go drafting next. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. One of the keys to victories is to know your opponent well.
Best thing I can do is point you in the direction of his competition.
Get insights and interviews from Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline when he takes you behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners, do you need bathroom partitions and accessories? Frank Frangie here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. Coyle & Sons will design it for you. Call them today at 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is hitched to Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Truck drivers. Without them, our economy would stop. They're constantly racing against time, struggling against exhaustion, and being put under enormous pressure from their bosses, the big trucking companies. This can be a major reason for an accident. Discovering who's at fault can be difficult. We can help. Put our big truck experience to work for you. Call Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
The Jaguars are facing off against the Minnesota Vikings Sunday, November 10th for the Jags Salute to Service game. See the Shell White alternative helmets in action for the first time and join us in honoring our military all game long. Kickoff is 1 p.m. Don't miss this matchup and lock in your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
Jacksonville Cougars. It's me, Soccer Sam from Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizzeria is now open in Jacksonville, Florida. Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. $10 daily deals, dine-in beer and wine, and delivery. Salvatores.com.
Meet Jennifer, talking about her experience with BioTarget Regenerative Therapy at Injury Care Centers.
I'm a music teacher and play the piano, and I was unable to play the piano at all due to pain from carpal tunnel. I did notice a significant difference after the first treatment. I was in immense pain and unable to work, and I woke up the following day able to fully move my wrist again. I was a pill popper. I would take ibuprofen all the time to help manage my pain, and it did not really do a great job. What really sold me was knowing that if it was not successful, I'd be able to get all of my money back. So I would highly recommend it to anybody who's experiencing any type of pain.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget Regenerative Therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and beautiful people all across the world. Let's get ready for the Breakfast Bowl Challenge!
Mike Rocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
All right, here we go. Breakfast Bowl Week 9. Tony, how'd it go down last week?
Last week, Dempsey took down the week 93.9 to win. Dylan second with 83.65. I was third with 82.7. And D-Rock on the stat correction on Monday night went from a tie to buying breakfast again this week, 82.6.
All right, so I'm finally got my overall season-leading score bold typed again on the official Breakfast Bowl sheet. When do we start factoring in dropping the highest and lowest?
I can do it whenever.
Well, yeah. Because ultimately that's what we do. We drop the highest score of the season.
We're halfway
and
through
the lowest.
basically now. I can do it whenever.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter yet, because things are going to change along the way. All right, as you well know if you listen to this program, we're obsessed with the Breakfast Bowl. We draft a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and a flex player. Cannot be a quarterback in the flex. It is point per reception scoring. The trick to the Breakfast Bowl is any player you draft can only be used one time all year. Whenever you take him, you get the points he scores that week. Can't use him again. Once a player is selected in any given week, he cannot be selected by another team. And once you speak the name, you are stuck with that player. You're on the clock. You speak a name. You ask, hey, should I take Jaden Daniels? Ask that right now, Mike. Ask that. No? All right.
Should Mike Dempsey take the Commander's quarterback?
There you go. Good. Oh, me. I was thinking for you, since you've already used him. That would be a good guy to lead off with. We've all used Mr. Daniels. All right, D-Rock, Tony, Dylan, and myself. This is draft order. Who you got, D-Rock?
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
Did anybody see that coming?
I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. It's the number one overall pick. Anybody else have Swift on their sheet? Tony does.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You snake Tony.
Okay, good.
Tony, who you got?
Joe Mixon.
Yes.
I was going to take him.
Were you?
I've already used him.
I was just happy because Tony is the only one who could take the guy I wanted.
Oh, I know.
He didn't take him.
It was the other one I was considering there, yep.
Dylan Denmark.
Kareem Hunt.
Yes. Yes.
And you want who?
Well, I'm going to start with Bijan. Bijan Mustardson. If I win this week, I'm going to buy somebody a bottle of Bijan's Dijon Mustardson. And I will take CeeDee Lamb, who Dylan could only take. I thought Bijan and CeeDee were going 2 and 3, and I was taking scraps at that point. Yes. All right, Dylan, who you got?
Justin Jefferson.
JJ
Jettas.
Can't go wrong with Jettas. Mr. Smith.
Let's see.
Professional assassin, Mr. Smith. D-Rock, as Tony thinks, we once said on the air that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie, right? Or Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie was loosely based on Tony's parents. And I swear to you,
people believed it.
There were at least a couple that were like, were you serious about that? I'm like, oh my God. That and the Andy Griffith Show was based on the early life of David Lamb. We also threw that one out there.
That's actually possible.
Yes, more people believe that. Tony, who would you like to go with Joe Mixon?
I will go Devon Achane.
Devon Achane. Tony's flexing early. Right there. All right, Devon Achane is off the board. I am so giddy right now with my top two. D-Rock.
Matt Stafford.
Matthew. Who the Rams got?
I am taking
Seattle.
Yeah.
On the road against Seattle. That's an interesting environment.
I am going with A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown. Here we go. I mean,
I know,
honestly,
I'd already looked at all of it. I won't say the names because I'm on the clock now, but he already used the couple that I thought would be circled for D-Rock this week.
I mean, GC is the guy if you're going to take one of those guys. I'm not saying his name, but GC might be the guy this week. We'll discuss. Tony, I can't believe this guy. Right? I mean, once again, D-Rock curses Where are you going to buy us breakfast next week?
Well, look, I'm just saying I'm trying to help Jags fans.
Is that what it is?
I did it last week.
The
I'm
curse
doing
of
it
D-Rock?
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's Halloween. You can throw a curse out there on somebody.
Yeah.
Tony.
Okay.
Mixon, Achan. Take another running back. Go ahead.
I'm sure that
Jaden
would
Daniels available
tickle
to you as well.
no end.
He's not available to anyone, people.
I will go Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. I like it. Oh, you're chasing my points from last week. Pick of the season, baby. Bo Nix, I love you. Always thought he'd be a great NFL quarterback. Dylan, you got Hunt. You got Jefferson.
I'm going to add Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. All right, I'm the last one to have Ingram available to me right now. All right, let's see. First, I'm going to go with the Tony's favorite current NFL player, Malik Neighbors, in the flex. And I'm going Patty Mahomes on Monday Night Football versus the Yucks. So I think it's a good week to use him. Back to you, Mr. Denmark.
Chris Olave.
Olave. Got it.
You're
Tony Smith. You need a wide receiver or a tight end here.
Let's see.
Tight end's all of a sudden a much richer environment.
Yeah.
I feel like.
All right, I'll take the risk. Josh Downs.
I had him on my list too, and I'm like,
He hadn't practiced on a Wednesday in 3
I
weeks.
know,
And still
I
playing.
know.
Like, he makes me nervous, but the matchup is great.
I love it.
And Flacco back out there.
And every time I have him on a roster, I make the wrong decision with him. Play him or don't play him, it's the wrong thing. All right, Mr. Duraco, you need a tight end and a flex here.
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
Breakfast bowl.
And I'm going to go with Trey McBride.
I really hope he'd use Jamar Chase, but he hasn't.
I haven't.
Trey McBrizzle. I think that's a great pick because he is so due to score a touchdown. Hadn't scored all year.
That's what I'm hoping for.
He really is due to score. He did me right last week. I was very appreciative of those points. Tony need a tight end here?
Travis Kelce.
Tony trying to steal a little of my Patrick Mahomes thunder right there. I see what you're doing. Denmark, quarterback.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Flex.
I'm so tempted.
He's the quarterback that always looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume with that hair right now.
Man, do I go with the chalk here or do I stick my neck out? I feel like I got most of the guys that I want.
You be a little frisky.
All right.
Do it.
I'm going to get a little frisky.
You're going to have to use 18 of them. So
I'm going to get a little frisky.
You're taking BS, aren't you?
No. I'm taking TJ Hawkinson.
Ooh.
Best tight end matchup in the league is playing the Indianapolis Colts. He hasn't played this year, but he's coming back this week. Sunday Night Football.
Risky first game back.
I'm not worried about it. I think he's healthy, ready to go. Brock Bowers in my back pocket because you guys have used him already. He had a pretty good matchup as well, but Brock Bowers will get in the lineup at some point. All right, here's what we've got. D-Rock, Stafford, Swift, A.J. Brown, McBride, and Jamar Chase. Tony Smith goes Bo Nix, Joe Mixon, Josh Downs, hope he doesn't play, Travis Kelce, and Devon Achane. Dylan Denmark has Joe Burrow, Kareem Hunt, Justin Jefferson, Evan Ingram, and Chris Olave. And I will roll with Patrick Mahomes, Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, TJ Hawkinson, and Malik Neighbors. Breakfast Bowl locked in for week number 9. All right, D-Rock, as you pack up and get ready to head over to Jaguars Central, what is the message that Doug Peterson tries to convey to his team? Now, at 2-6, you traded off a couple of guys who just 2 weeks ago were starting for your football team. What is he preaching to keep this team or try to get them or keep them focused?
It's the cliche, 1 week at a time. Hey, look, nothing you can do about what's behind us. Focus on the next game and what we can do to win that next game, because you can't overcome 2-6 and make it to the playoffs if you don't win that first game.
Also, Dewey Wingard, a shot to A.J. Brown's solar plexus early in this game and knock him out, sideline him. Just for the game. As McManus says, I don't want to ruin your career, just hurt you for that day.
Just don't want to see
Just
you
for
the rest
that
of
day.
this day. Yeah.
That's right. All right.
Such a violent group of people you are.
No question. D-Rock, what do you got coming up at ESPN.com?
Actually, I don't have a story the rest of this week. The curse of a team being 2-6. I am working on sort of a Tank Bigsby. Who's the other guy? Travis Etienne. How's that backfield going?
Who's that other guy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Look, you get old, you start forgetting names.
Missed 2 games, and D-Rock's writing you off.
How that? What kind of backfield that duo is? Like what? How can they use that going forward? Tank got a lot of work, answered the bell pretty much. So now, how do you really kind of mix these guys in there? It should be more of a. It shouldn't be a 70-30 split anymore.
By the way, for the bulky haters, and there are many, they're legion, and I understand it. I do. But you look at last year's draft, right? And Anton Harrison's taken a step back this year, but we generally feel like he's going to be a big part of the future, right?
Right.
Brenton Strange having a nice season. Ventrell Miller having a nice season. Tank Bigsby having a nice season. Parker Washington having a nice season. That's a lot of value.
Right.
In one draft class. That's not bad.
And depending on what Parker does the rest of the year, that'll determine really
is he a starter
what
going forward,
they want to do with Christian Kirk.
Absolutely. D-Rock, always, all kidding aside, great to see you. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween,
Don't forget
everyone.
to cover first base.
Safe Halloween to everyone tonight. And
I'm handing out apples.
Oh, you're a bad person.
I just regular apples.
Full-size candy bars at the Doracco house.
They don't come. We got a big bowl ready to go of all the good stuff, but nobody's coming. We don't get that many. We get a handful in the neighborhood anymore. I feel like they've all grown up at the same time. We don't have many kids in the neighborhood anymore. So,
all right, everybody, bus your kids to Dempsey's neighborhood. There you go.
And seriously, come on over. Right, come on over, St. Augustine Shores, baby. We roll with the good stuff. Snickers, Kit Kats.
Smoke Smarties.
We don't smoke the Smarties, but you know what? Maybe we'll try. I'm not opposed to it. All right, D-Rock, get out of here. Go do your work.
See you guys.
We'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Mike Doracco of ESPN fame. All right, that'll do it for D-Rock. We'll come back with some final thoughts on our questions of the day. The biggest trick, the biggest treat that the Jaguars have presented based on the options we gave you in our polls this morning. And if you want to get in with a final thought, there's still time to do it at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you need a plumber,
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
when you need your septic tank pumped out,
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
when you need any septic or plumbing issue fixed right the first time.
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
I9 Sports is getting geared up for more fun for kids all over the First Coast with winter and spring registration now open. Kids ages 3 to 17 can get in the gym or on the field with I9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, and St. John's, and I9 introducing all-girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter and all-girls flag at Nocatee, plus flag, soccer, t-ball, and basketball for boys and girls too. So don't miss out. Registration open now for winter and spring at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here, reminding you that November is Veterans Month, a time to celebrate and honor the heroes who've served our country. This November, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is showing their appreciation for active duty veterans and spouses by offering 15% off your entire Awaken 180 program, free support for life included. It's a thank you for the sacrifices you've made, protecting our freedoms and making this country what it is. This is special. Awaken 180 has never offered a discount, ever. If this incentive can help turn your focus on you, your health, your goals, and your happiness, I say go for it. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. So if you're active duty, a veteran, or a spouse of one, this month is about you. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off your Awaken 180 program, and as with all clients, receive free support for life after reaching your goals. Do what I did, what Hacker did, and what Matt Hayes did, and over 23,000 others have done. Take control at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Hicken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
Former Gator and Jaguars linebacker Mike Peterson and Mandarin standout and Gator cornerback Fred Weary will be inducted into the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame. For tickets to the celebration lunch Friday, November 1st, go to GAFLJax.com.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000. So you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year and call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote and there's no credit pull, unlike the other guys. Call now, 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This is Keith Scott with Veterans Wholesale Cabinets. We are Northeast Florida's cabinet experts and your best option to elevate your home improvement project for both homeowners and contractors, and attention to detail to every project. VeteransWholesaleCabinets.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was the winning head coach of Super Bowl 52 with the Philadelphia Eagles. Peterson brought Philadelphia their first Super Bowl championship in February of 2018 with a victory over Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots. Peterson on why he's looking forward to going back to Philadelphia on Sunday with the Jaguars.
Fans are great. We won a championship there. We still got a lot of close friends, family friends. So that place is always going to be, one of the spots for me, that I enjoy going back to.
Jags at Eagles, Sunday at 4:05. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, a couple on the text line. I suppose in reaction to what I think is just a statement of fact that we're getting a lot of contribution out of last year's draft class with good play from these guys this year. One on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Those players are okay. Would have been nice to have drafted some trenches. Oh, you mean like the guy that they took in the first round of that draft, right? Anton Harrison? That guy? I mean, they did take their very first pick was on the trenches.
Yeah.
And I think Strange has been outstanding this year when called upon. Bigsby has turned his career around. Parker Washington is a guy, Tony, in training camp they're saying might be the most improved player from last year to this. And he has done well. And Ventrell Miller basically just taken almost Devin Lloyd's spot away as a fourth-round pick. I mean, I don't know how many second-year draft classes in Jaguar history are playing as well halfway through the next year as this group is. And then somebody said, oh, come on, Mike. Bulky's as big a reason as there is for this disaster of a franchise. Look, I get it. You're emotional about it, okay? But it's also objectively factual statement that those were good picks.
Yeah.
So, like, if you can't acknowledge that, you can't have a rational conversation. I'm not saying keep Trent Baalke, but at the same time, I'd be a liar to say that that draft class is not rounding into pretty good form at this point in time. What's the big deal? Like, if you are so emotional that you can't acknowledge that Trent Baalke sometimes makes a good move, do you like Brian Thomas Jr., Tony?
I do.
I like him.
Quite a bit.
Most of the fan base loves it, right? And you got him and 3 extra picks for your first rounder this year. Again, that doesn't mean I think Trent Baalke should be here for the long haul or beyond this season. But those are also facts. You know, I mean, and not everything Trent Baalke does is bad. Sorry to dissuade you that notion, but it's the way it is.
It is.
All right, let's look at the tricks and treats of the Jaguars season with the 10-10 take.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, let's see here. Dueling questions of the day today. We ask you, we'll start with the good stuff first. The treats on Halloween. What has been the biggest treat of the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars season so far? We gave you the options of Brian Thomas Jr., NFL-approved stadium deal for the Jaguars, throwback uniforms, or we still own the Colts, right? So we got that going for us in the division. That was like the fourth option. Didn't expect it to get many votes. It didn't. Tony, I think living in the moment, it's Brian Thomas Jr. But I think the big picture is the NFL approved the stadium deal. It was the final thing, even if it was seen as a formality. It's still, the stadium deal is bigger than any one player for this franchise, for this fan base. Like, I've said it a million times, bad football, better than no football. So that, to me, is still the biggest treat, that the Jags are going to have a new state-of-the-art facility to play in. And that will lock them into playing here in Jacksonville for decades to come.
Sure. Like, my lack of nerves about that getting done once they were at that point in the process is probably why it didn't get my vote, but I agree with you, right? Like, it obviously, big picture, they're going to be here for the next 30 years. That's the biggest reward for this thing, but that they might have, for the first time in their drafting history, found a number one wide receiver for the next 10 to 15 years. It looks like in Brian Thomas Jr., the way that he's looked. And look, we talked about it when they drafted him. We talked about it when we were going into training camp, preseason. That entire process, talking, well, it may be it may take a year for him to get to where he's going to be that type of guy, but we think he's eventually, they certainly drafted him to be the number one in Jacksonville at some point in the future. Well, at some point in the future was basically week one, right? Like, that's how long it took for Brian Thomas Jr. to already look like that guy, and he's currently that guy for this franchise. That is the way I voted. They look like they moved back and still got a number one wide receiver in this year's draft, and who knows what the dividends are that going to be. We talked about it briefly on the show yesterday. Like, next year you get to see Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. going into year 2 together. It's as exciting. The most exciting thing they got going right now is Brian Thomas Jr. and whatever that connection is going to look like for however long he and Trevor Lawrence get to play together.
Oh, I don't have any problem with anybody. You vote how you feel, right?
Yep.
But 68.6% agree with you, Brian Thomas Jr. NFL approving the stadium deal, getting 18.7% of the vote. Throwback unis. That's a little depressing that 11% of the people think that's the highlight of the, like, more so than watching Brian Thomas Jr. develop right in front of our eyes. But hey, we put it in the poll for a reason.
They are awesome.
1.3% say we still own the Colts is the treat of the season.
That was the day they were wearing the throwbacks.
This is true,
Yeah.
but they're separate entities there.
They do still own the Colts.
Dylan, where would you vote on this poll?
I'd easily go to the stadium.
Stadium deal?
Yeah, and it went without a hiccup. It was very seamless. It was a unanimous vote.
Unanimous, yeah.
So
I'm with
that's how
you.
I go.
You know, look, again, more than one answer is a good answer, but you can only vote for one. All right, so what has been the biggest trick of the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars season so far? Is it blown coverages? Is it dropped passes? Is it dumb penalties? Is it lack of intensity?
Yes.
Right. And then there are other things, you know, we've had other people suggest it's just Ryan Nielsen. It's just Trent Ball. It's just whatever. And that's fine. Like, limited to 4. These are all kind of on the field things, including lack of intensity.
Yeah.
For you, what's the best option
I don't
here?
think anything is more frustrating about this football team right now than the fact that they can't cover anybody. And it doesn't matter who it is. They can't cover anybody right now. They don't cover wideouts at all. They don't cover tight ends at all. And in big moments in games, it gets exposed 3-4 times a game. That they just have no answers in coverage right now in big moments. So that would be where my vote would go, blown coverages.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'd go the same. I mean, the whole offseason, we're talking about Ryan Nielsen, how well he did with the Saints and the Falcons, and how he made those defenses better, and you kind of thought that he'd bring that over here, and it has been nothing but the complete opposite.
Yeah, look, I could have put lack of pass rush in here as an option as well because that contributes to the coverage on the back end. But, again, we're limited to 4 options. I thought all these were pretty strong.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm probably with you on the blown coverages, but in any given moment, my heart is going to say any one of these other is the number one issue.
The Houston game, the biggest issue was drop passes.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Right. We've seen way too many pre-snap penalties with this team. We've seen way too many bad penalties on defense that convert first downs for the opposition as well.
Yeah.
Lack of intensity. As some people have said, that has contributed to all of these things. Are these guys geared up to play at a high level every week, Tony? How do you come out flat for your home opener? How do you then fall, completely flat against Buffalo in a measuring stick game early in the season? On and on and on it goes. But the blown coverages have shown up. You know, you go back to first game. Okay, ETN fumbles up. We give up an 80-yard touchdown in the very first play. Oh, but it's Tyreek Hill. All right, Tyreek Hill. And there's, to some degree, there is that. Tyreek Hill will get you. Tua was healthy at the point, and, you know, he wasn't playing with Huntley at quarterback or anybody else. So, but, you know, just this week, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. You're right. Every week, it's 1 or 2 big plays, it seems like, that they're giving. Oh, we got him 3rd and 12. And just let this guy sneak out of the backfield and go for 30 or whatever the case may be, and with a little sling pass. 48%. This had better balanced options. 48% went with blown coverages. Lack of intensity, drawn 25%. 14% on drop passes, about 12.5% on dumb penalties. Yes, and yes on all these things.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody, right? Put on a scary mask and terrorize each other. All right, there you go. That's your Jaguars Today bonus question of the day as we welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
All right, Matt Hayes is here with us as XL Primetime kicking off as they do on Thursdays at noon. What's up, Matt?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
We're hanging in there. Happy Halloween to you.
What's your favorite costume, by the way, when you were growing up?
The homemade Captain America. We talked about this earlier. We had a homemade one. Had a shield that was made out of a cardboard box, and my uncle drew, and I colored in with crayons, and it was all. But it was like I said, we weren't poor, but we weren't rich, let's just say. You know, like we weren't buying the one in the box too often. We'd go Salvation Army and get them secondhand sometimes. But Captain America had the I had the cardboard shield. My mom sewed a mask for my eyes. I had a pair of gloves on, and I think I probably drew a star on a T-shirt, and that was it. And I was Captain America. So what about yourself?
We were poor.
Okay.
So I either went as a hobo. Which,
Hobo's always
you put the charcoal on your face and the ripped shirt, and
you put a stick and you tie a little bag to the end of a broomstick, and there you go.
Or ghost,
Yeah, Ghost. I was Ghost as well.
Old sheet,
Yep, just sheet, couple of holes in an old sheet, and there you have it. All right.
Didn't draw Casper on yours, so everyone know you're Casper.
I don't know if you heard that. I was Casper. And so, my uncle stenciled a bunch of Casper cartoons on the sheet because clearly Casper walked around with pictures of himself all over himself.
Right.
Whatever. I was 6, probably. Biggest treat of the season so far for you out of these options. Okay. Brian Thomas Jr., NFL approving the stadium deal, throwback uniforms, or we still own the Colts?
Brian Thomas.
Okay.
Without it.
I think it's a stadium deal for me.
I could answer that, but I think that was going to get through no matter what. Eventually,
it still happens.
Yeah,
so
it happens.
I get it.
Right.
And vast majority
keeps
people
them here for 30 more years. Yeah.
All right. Biggest trick: blown coverages.
Yes.
Drop passes.
Yes.
Dumb penalties.
Yes.
Lack of intensity.
All of the above.
Of course, that's what. But if you can only vote for one.
Lack of intensity.
Lack of intensity. Okay, that's currently running second in the poll. What do you guys have coming up today on the program?
Big show. We got Roman Harper talking college football. Sal Pal talking Eagles, Jags. Paul Feinbaum, the one and only. Talk a little ball.
There you go. It's a big one. Matt will be listening. Have a great show.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate it. There he goes. By the way, Grant Calcaterra was the guy. If you really want to target the Jags this week, if you're playing a little DFS fantasy, Grant Calcaterra, probably minimum price, Tony.
Probably.
And if Dallas Goedert doesn't play, have the Jags stopped the tight end?
Not
recently.
No.
Not one that's actually a part of the team's passing game. It doesn't feel like. So, go Jags. Tom McManus will be in with us tomorrow as we'll go keys to victory. Got to stop the tush push, man. Got to use our prowess at defensive tackle, our superior play and the interior of the defensive line that we've been putting out there on display all year to slow down the tush push and Saquon Barkley. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thanks to Mike DeRocco for swinging by. Again, don't forget to cover first base, people. It's pretty fundamental. Tony, Dylan, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening. Tommy Mack joins us tomorrow for a Keys to Victory Friday. Stick around for XL Primetime. Coming your way next on 1010.